Hey guys, so it is Wednesday. A week from tomorrow we close on our house. So I'll have a video up that Thursday. Hopefully I will have a pre-done video for Friday. And then Monday, if we have internet that week, I don't know if we'll get it on Monday or not. We will have a video up. If I don't, and if the stay-at-home orders are still in place, I may not have access to public internet. So it may be a day or two that week before I can get a video up. So I did want to make sure I was keeping you guys up to date. So this is going to be part of a 3-part series. And I'm going to talk about why people struggle with losing weight. Because it's not what you think it is. Keep in mind, I am a health and life coach. Most of what I talk on here about is either stuff I've personally experienced or I've learned and been able to find actual basis where I agree with these topics. Take these off. So basically, the first thing I want to talk about is this thing that happens to people who need to lose weight. So we're always like, oh my gosh, I wish I could lose weight. I hope I can lose the weight. I hope, I wish, I hope, I wish. So we say these things as someone who is overweight. Like I was almost 500 pounds a year and a half ago. And I'm not now. I'm in the 300s and working towards being in the 2s. But it's so easy to say things like, I wish, I hope, I'd like to. The problem is there is work that has to be done so that when you do achieve, I wish, I hope, I'd like to, you can remain successful. And sometimes the I wish, I hope, and I'd like to are not real. But we think they are. And we think those statements are real because who wouldn't want to lose weight? Who would be happy being overweight? Who would be happy being made fun of? Who would be happy being told you can't go on a ride because you weigh too much? Who would be happy having people judge you based on your weight and say you're a certain person? For example, I can recall someone saying to me, well, maybe if you get off your fat booty, you wouldn't be fat. And at that time, when that was said to me, it hurt so bad because I was working a 60-hour-a-week job where I was on my feet constantly. Literally, people at work would say to me, you need roller skates because I constantly am seeing you run from office to office. I was an administrative assistant to a woman who was very high maintenance, who would make me run from one building to another, literally run every day, multiple times a day. I was running up and down stairways because the elevator wouldn't come fast enough and she was not going to wait for me to bring paperwork down to the first floor for me to wait for an elevator. So I knew I was running around, but on top of that, I had a personal trainer, I had a dietitian, and I was going to the gym 5 nights a week. So on top of running around at work, writing down every single piece of food I ate, and they all sat there and said, we don't know why you're not losing weight. Because literally, there was no excuse for me not losing weight. I was writing down every piece of anything. If I picked up a cup and put it to my lips, I wrote down what was in it. There was no reason for me not to lose weight, and they didn't know why I wasn't losing weight. And they ran all kinds of tests, and everything came back negative. I wasn't diabetic. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. There was no reason for me not to lose weight. So fast forward, many years, I find out that I have PCOS, and this is what's wrong with me as far as why I can't lose the weight like other people. I also found out there's things that can be done that can mitigate it to a point where you can lose weight. So yes, when I have weeks where I don't lose weight, I get very frustrated. But there are also weeks where I don't take my medication. I suck at taking medication. But part of that, I think, is a subliminal thought to myself that what's going to happen when you lose the weight? Then what? What's next? Even though I know once I lose the weight, the next step is maintaining and continuing on the path to keep my weight down. But also, like, there's this part of me that, there's this loss of hope. There's this loss of desire. There's this loss of purpose involved with getting to your goal. And so I think subconsciously, A lot of us are just scared. Like, what happens when I succeed? Right now, I'm used to going into a store and having people look at me funny if I'm looking in the clothing that's not my size because I'm buying it for my daughter. I'm used to getting, there's things I'm used to, but how do I deal with a different environment? How do I deal with the people around me accepting me differently based on the fact that I'm going to look different? These are things that you need to work through with a counselor or a health coach, because generally speaking, most of us who have extreme weight issues, a lot of our friends have weight issues, and they're not going to walk us through that change. Or our friends have always been thin and they've never been accepted differently. So it's really hard to walk through the how do I adjust to the world changing its perception of me. And so you hope for those things, but when you get them, then what? And so it's one of those things that as an overweight person, we need to rationalize and have a plan for. We need to have a list of things that we hope to do, not just one. So maybe as part of a thing, when I hit a certain goal, I'm going to try this. Like, I'm going to try this martial art, or I'm going to try zip lining, or I'm going to try this, or start setting goals that go along with your goals. Things that you've always wanted to do, but at your current weight, you can't, what have you. There's just a lot of things that you can do to increase your ability to maintain some form of hope. And when you get closer, you start noticing, well, now what do I hope for? Find something. Look inside yourself. Work with a health coach. Work with a counselor. Find what's next. Have something else to hope for. Because hope's important. Hope is what keeps us going. And at the end of the day, just because you achieve a goal doesn't mean you can't hope for something else or hope for something more. So definitely one of the things that gets in our way is the fear of the loss of hope. Because once I've lost weight and I no longer have to hope to lose weight, then what? So many of us have this one-track mind and this one-way path. And really you kind of need like a tree root system. I need to have multiple things I hope for. So that when one gets achieved, I still have the other ones. And then I can add a new one when I need to. So your hope needs to be a root system. You need to root yourself in your hope and always have more than one thing you're hoping for. Don't limit yourself. Self-limitation is poison. So that's part one of why some of us fat people don't lose weight. And maybe that's not you. Or maybe you don't know it is. But I know for me, the thought of not having hope for something is probably out of a 1 to 10. For me, it's probably a 4 to 5 factor. Middle of the road. Like, yeah, it's probably something I do concern about myself in the back of my head, but I understand it and I'm going to tackle it, and that's okay. It's definitely not one of the big ones for me, but it's up there. I mean, it's a 4 or 5. It's definitely not a 0. All right, I'll see you guys for part 2, and I am filming this all at the same time, so